Right. Let's go ahead and call the Senate to order. The Sergeant at Arms will please secure the chamber doors. Members, please take your seats. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, Senators, we are very pleased this morning to have Rabbi Dana Sorokin of Beth-El Congregation in Pikesville, Maryland, guest of the distinguished senator from the 11th District. Please rise for the invocation.
Senator Ferguson, Senator Hettleman, senators and elected officials, thank you for this honor. In this week's Torah portion, which comes from the book of Exodus, we read about the journey of the Israelites. They're out in the wilderness in an unfamiliar place and in need of a place to feel secure, a place to gather, and a place to feel God's presence among them. So God instructs Moses to tell the people to bring of what they have, according to how their hearts move them, in order to create a sacred place that they will call the Mishkan, a tabernacle. It's a risky proposition, especially when you're launching a building campaign, to ask people to give what they are moved to give. But thankfully, the Israelites rise to the occasion. They heed Moses' call, and they begin to bring their things, their gifts, their wood, their gems, their metals, their fabrics. They bring everything imaginable. In fact, they bring so much that Moses has to stop them. They had more than they needed, they had more than they could use, and they had too much to even store. It's a beautiful moment seeing people giving their cherished material possessions with such generosity. And yet, what the Israelites gave towards the campaign was far more than just their things. They were also invited to give of their talents. Those that were good with their hands would help with the building. Those who were good with weaving would make the curtains, and those who were good with gem work would adorn the sacred objects. Each person had a special role to play, and the most beautiful part of all was that it was only if and when they worked together that they could create something extraordinary. This was the true gift of the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the holy place where the Israelites would gather in community and feel God's presence. The people all learned from this that each of them had something unique and special to offer, and that together they could create something worthy of God's presence. The Israelites, they had their mission. And you, our esteemed members of the Senate and elected officials, you have yours. Each of you has special talents, wisdom, skills, and experiences that are unique to you and only you. Each of you is motivated by causes much bigger than yourselves. And each of you is devoted to improving and repairing our broken and yet oh so exquisite world. The time, it passes quickly. The work is plentiful, and the stakes are high. This week, our Torah portion reminds us that when we build our world together, anything is possible. And so my prayer for all of you today on this beautiful day that God has gifted us is that you feel united in purpose, connected by a desire to serve, and steadfast in your commitment to improving our state and our world. May God enable you all to do the work that is before you and to find the goodness within yourselves and each other. May your minds be filled with clarity and focus, your hearts with generosity and compassion, and your spirits with hope, with patience, with determination, and resolve. And together you will create a better Maryland, and you will improve our broken yet oh so miraculous world. And just as our ancestors did, May you together make us worthy to feel God's presence dwelling among us. I conclude today by offering you a traditional prayer that was once said at the temple. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God guard you, may God protect you, and may God keep you safe. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichoneka. May God be kind to you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may God fill all of our lives, our state, and our world with more love, with more kindness, and with peace. And together to that we say, Amen. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the senator from District 11.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. As you can see, Rabbi Sorokin is a powerful religious leader at our wonderful Bethel congregation, 4,000 congregants. She's also the founder and director of the Soul Center, a really fabulous spiritual center that offers all sorts of mindfulness and health and religiously based activities and community involvement. She actually hosted, I believe, got the governor last Friday night for a over 400 person celebration of Shabbat, and I just ask that we journalize her remarks. Thank you. She's also, very importantly, the wife of a lovely man who I know and the mom of 3 children, one of whom is in Jerusalem. May he be safe. Yes. And thank you very much for being here. I moved to journalize her prayer tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Senator, for that reflection. And I actually had the opportunity to take a trip with her husband once and learned about the family's on Friday evening, all of the devices go into the box and don't come out until Sunday, which was something I think about all the time. And this was 7-8 years ago. And every Friday, I think, I wonder if I tried the habit. Yeah, exactly. The box is needed for all the devices. So yes, certainly without objection, we'll journalize the rabbi's wonderful remarks. And thank you so much for being with us today. All right. Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 46 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is now in session. We do have one group of guests. Let's have the senator from Western Maryland could join us.
Thank you, Mr. President, colleagues. Today we welcome back a group of young women from my alma mater. Last year we heard about the adversity that team went through as they won the 2022 championship. This year's team had some adversity of their own as they lost 6 seniors from their previous team, including our 2-time Player of the Year. What did they do this year? They went back-to-back, going 19-1 overall, advanced to the state finals, where they defeated, and my sincerest apologies to my friend from the 33rd, but where they defeated Arundel High. Colleagues, led by first-year head coach Lacey Johnson, please extend a big Senate welcome as we recognize, celebrate, and welcome back the back-to-back Maryland Class 3A state volleyball champions, the North Hagerstown High Lady Hubs.
Excellent. The clerk will read the resolution.
Be it hereby known to all that the Senate of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to North Hagerstown High School volleyball team in recognition of winning the 2023 Maryland 3A State Volleyball Championship. We applaud your outstanding season and wish you many more. Congratulations. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution be presented on this 7th day of March 2024.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? If we could help out our friends who are up front here. Excellent. The clerk will take the call. To the young ladies of the North Hagerstown High School women's volleyball team, congratulations. The Senate of Maryland unanimously appreciates your 2023 Maryland 3A State Volleyball Championship. Well done. Keep up the great work. Hope you all are getting ready for that new rule of the double set, right? The double contact. Exciting times for women's volleyball these days. Big change. I'm not familiar with the new rule. It's all the rage in the NCAA. Yeah. Feel free to check it out. You know, for those of you who are not women's volleyball connoisseurs, that's yes. All right. Let's see. Do we have any guests? Any guests today? And yes, Chair recognizes the senator from the 38th District.
Good morning, Mr. President, friends and colleagues. I am delighted to introduce and have you help me welcome one of my favorite professors from Salisbury University, Dr. Sherry Maykrantz, and if they'll stand, and the students from the School of Public Health. They're here and they are active. We see them at home engaged, and they're up here in Annapolis. If you'll stand and welcome them. Salisbury University School of Public Health.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for joining us. Senator from the 37th District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a guest in the balcony. His name is Spencer Rada. Spencer hails from District 37. He's the vice chair of the Norwich University Student Senate. So he's a senator rising at Norwich University, straight off the Eastern Shore. He's also a direct descendant of the Rebecca T. Roark, which is a skipjack that is tied up in Tillman Island, which also happens to be the only moving national monument in North America.
Wow.
It was dedicated by President Reagan back in the 80s.
Very good.
Welcome, Spencer.
Very good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for joining us. All right, let's see. Senator from District 18.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two constituents visiting today to see democracy in action. Amaryllis Favorites is here joining us, and her son, Victor Favorites Lugo. Victor is a student at Howard University. Please welcome them in the gallery.
Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Senator from the 44th District, Baltimore County. Do we have some guests here today? No? Okay, we'll double check. They are there. Okay, we'll see if we'll get to them in just a moment. All right. Any other guests before we jump in today? Any other guests? All right. Without objection, so we consider the reading of the journal from the prior legislative day. Let's go ahead into the layover bill calendar. This is calendar number 12. Clerk will read the bill.
Senate Bill 417, Senator Hayes, Election Administration, State Administrator, Local Boards, and Election Directors. Question is on the adoption of the one committee amendment and the favorable report.
All right. Question is on the one committee amendment. Chair recognizes the minority whip.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've had some discussions in the day since I laid this over. Actually, had some conversations with the State Board of Elections staff, and really appreciate the concern I had was how can we make it more clear how individual voters or people can, if they have an issue with their local administrator election board that isn't resolved locally, what's the process? There is a bit of an administrative process, but it's not real well known. And working with the staff, as I talked with them, they're going to work on some regulatory changes over the interim to have something be in regulation to make it a little more clear. And so I appreciate the day, and we're good to go. And thank you
Wonderful.
very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Senator. All right. Question remains on the one committee amendment. Any objections? Without objection, the one committee amendment is adopted. Question now is on the amended report. Any discussion? Any objections? Without objection, the amended report is adopted. Are there any amendments, further amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 417 is hereby ordered printed for third reading. We have a report from the Committee on Executive Nominations. Clerk will read the report.
Report number 4, the Senate Executive Nominations Committee reports favorably on the attached appointments and recommends that the Senate of Maryland advise and consent to these appointments. Antonio Hayes, Chair.
Recognize the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, this is the appointments that we heard on this past Monday. Please take a careful look at it. You can find it in the other section. We're going to special order it till tomorrow and give everyone an opportunity to take a look at it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Wonderful. All right, the chair's moved that we special order the report to the appropriate time tomorrow and hear it in open session. Are there any objections? Without objection, so ordered. Senators, make sure to take a look if there are any names that have to be separated out to vote independently. All right, looks like we are a light day today, not too bad. Let's do a quorum call before third reading calendar.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their presence? Madam Clerk, if we could ring the bells. So the clerk will take the call. With 46 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. We do have everyone. All right. Let's start with calendar 31. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 78, Senator Sidnor, Education, Baltimore County School Board Nominating Commission, Publishing and Meeting Requirements.
All right, Senate Bill 78 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 78, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk, read the next bill.
Senate Bill 89, Senator James, Child Abuse and Neglect, Reports and Records Disclosure.
Senate Bill 89 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 89, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 125, Senator Lewis Young, Residential Property Sales Contract Notice, Superfund Sites.
Senate Bill 125 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 125, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk, read the next bill.
Senate Bill 178, Senator Klossmeyer, Agriculture, Pollinator Habitat Plan Requirements for State Highway Administration.
Senate Bill 178 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 178, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk, read the next bill.
Senate Bill 215, Chair, Finance Committee, Small Minority-Owned Women-Owned Businesses Account Alterations.
Senate Bill 215 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 215, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 273, Chair, Judicial Proceedings, State and Local Correctional Facilities Operation of Unmanned Aircraft, Image Recording and Delivery of Contraband.
Senate Bill 273 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 273, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 535, Senator Simon Ayer, Confined Aquatic Disposal Task Force.
Senate Bill 353 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 353, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 423, Senator James, Real Property Recordation Procedures.
Senate Bill 423 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 423, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 449, Senator Muse, Criminal Procedure and Competency to Stand Trial Dismissal.
Senate Bill 449 is on third reading for final passage. Chair recognizes the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to just make a motion to move this back to second reader for purposes of a technical amendment.
All right, senators, move the bill back to second reader. Any objections to the senator's motion? Without objection, the motion carries. The bill is now back on second reader, subject and open to amendment. Pages will collect and distribute the senator's amendment. Senator may explain the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. The amendment simply moves the effective date from October to July.
October to July. All right. Any objections to the senator's amendment? Without objection, the amendment is adopted. Are there any further amendments to the bill or its title? Seeing none, Senate Bill 449 is hereby ordered printed again for third reading. Let's go to third reading calendar number 32. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 457, Senator A. Washington, Maryland Technology Development Corporation, Equitech Growth Fund alterations.
Senate Bill 457 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 457, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 465, Senator Kelly, Common Ownership Communities Electric Vehicle Recharging Equipment Act of 2024.
Senate Bill 465 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 37 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 465, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 486, Senator Hayes, Correctional Services, Maryland Correctional Enterprises Management Council, report.
Senate Bill 486 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 34 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 486, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 510, Senator Hershey, Corporations and Associations, Electric Cooperatives, Non-Eschate Capital Credits.
All right, Senate Bill 510 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 510, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 534, Senator Jackson, Electronic Transactions Protection Act, repeal.
Senate Bill 534 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 534, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 559, Senator Bidel, Business Regulation Household Good Movers Special Fund and Fees.
Senate Bill 559 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 34 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 559, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 592, Senator Zucker, Maryland Achieving a Better Life Experience, ABLE Program for Individualized Education Program, Individualized Family Services Plan, and 504 Plan meetings.
All right, Senate Bill 592 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 592, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 607, Senator Folden, Public Safety, Police Accountability, and Discipline Summary Punishment.
All right, Senate Bill 607 is on third reading. Recognize the chair of the committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'd like to special order this is the appropriate time tomorrow.
Any objections? Without objection, so ordered. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 624, Senator Carter, Task Force to Study Public Information Act, requests made to law enforcement establishment.
Senate Bill 624 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 624, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill. Oh, I'm sorry. We're on to the next report. Report number 33. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Senate Bill 634, Senator Klossmeyer, Maryland Technology Development Corporation Authority.
Senate Bill 634 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 634, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 648, Senator Ellis, Business Regulation, Contractors, Subcontractors, and Brokers Prohibited Conduct.
Senate Bill 648 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 35 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 648, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 668, Senator Charles, Department of Human Services, Children in Foster Care, Luggage.
Senate Bill 668 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 668, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 669, Senator Charles, State Government Attorney General, Publication of Documents.
Senate Bill 669 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 669, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 672, Senator Charles, Vehicle Laws, Automated Enforcement Citations and Notices, Mailing Addresses.
All right, Senate Bill 672 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 672, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will take the next, read the next bill.
Senate Bill 746, Senator Gazzone, Winery and Vineyard Economic Development Grant Program Modifications.
Senate Bill 746 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 746, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 762, Senator Kagan, Education Maryland Civic Excellence Program established.
Senate Bill 762 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 762, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 835, Senator Hester, Environment, Delegated Authorities Well and Septic Program Permits.
Senate Bill 835 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 835, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 879, Senator Klossmeyer, Shellfish Aquatic Culture Harvest Hours.
Senate Bill 879 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote? Explain their vote. If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 879, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. All right, Senators, the desk is clear. We have a couple things to work on. Yes, Chair recognizes the Majority Whip. Senator has an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is absolutely a joy. I am delighted and excited to present to you all this morning the AARP Chapter 939. But before we recognize them, I want to tell you all that this this is a group of people who come into the community in Prince George's County and really in the state of Maryland and are recognized for the services that they provide, helping with clothes and food, you name it, they do it. And I am so pleased that they're here visiting with us today. And I would ask them to please stand, chapter 939.
To the members of the ARP,
These are the women who make it happen, ladies and gentlemen.
welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, Senator.
We surely are glad to see you here this morning.
Wonderful. Thank you, Senator. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we have a couple things. I wasn't going to say anything, but I do want to just very briefly before we go into announcements. There was an article today in which a number of, or some county executives across the state questioned the motives of the members of this body. And I just remind them that it is, often that we have policy differences here and there, but when they come down and continuously ask for help over and over, and then decide to do a press conference questioning the motives of the members of this chamber, I would encourage them to really rethink that approach. And so hopefully they will realize that it's hard to get what you want when things happen and you question the motives of the members of this chamber. So we'll see how that plays out for them in the long run. With that, let's go ahead and, excuse me, Chair recognizes Senator from District 9.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to quickly introduce the doctor of the day, who is from District 9, Dr. Umar Farouk. He's his specialty in family medicine and addiction medicine, which is so important these days. He's affiliated with Upper Chesapeake, and I'd just like to thank you for all you do for our community, and let's give him a warm welcome to the Senate of Maryland.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Senator from District 44.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I wanted to ask you all to give a warm Senate welcome to Amanda Zinn and the leadership of Baltimore County, who I believe are up in the up above us, right? Please stand.
Excellent.
Welcome. Thank you all for coming down.
Yes. Thank you all for being here. Senator from District 6.
I would like to do the same. I want to thank the good senator from Baltimore County, our chair. I've met with a lot of the Baltimore County leadership, and I want to thank them also for being here, and I want to thank them for their partnership. They're a great team. They're doing a luncheon today, so hey, if you have an opportunity, meet with these good people in Baltimore County. Let them rub off a little bit. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all. All right. Any other? Yes, Senator from District 2.
Thank you, Mr. President. For announcements, the Frederick County delegation will meet real quick in the old Senate chamber after the session.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Let's do committee announcements. Committee announcements. Chair of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance will meet at 1 o'clock today. We have 12 bills, 127 witnesses, followed by voting. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Senator. Chair of Education, Energy, and the Environment.
Thank you, Mr. President. That committee will meet at 1 p.m. today for 15 bill hearings, followed immediately by a voting session. Then we will reconvene tomorrow at 9 a.m. for some more bill hearings.
Excellent. Thank you, Senator. Chair of Budget and Tax.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today we'll meet at 2 o'clock for voting. If I may, Mr. President.
Excuse me, if we could secure the chamber, please. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Just a sort of update on the budget. So yesterday, the 3 subcommittees reported, that information is out in the public now. And tomorrow, the committee will present our efforts on the budget, and it'll be a public session tomorrow afternoon. So today, we have been anticipating, as you may know, 3 times a year we get information from the Board of Revenue Estimates. They give us some projections about where the economy is and how that affects our budget. We get it in September, December, and then in March. The way it is timed for the March results are that it's usually a day or so before the first house, who has the budget, actually does their presentation. So if there's any opportunity or reason to modify what we have. So that's where we are today. And at noon today, the Board of Revenue Estimates is going to come out with its projections. We anticipate and have been anticipating pretty much throughout the whole session that we're going to see a revenue write-down. And I think it will be of significance, but by the same token, an amount that we have been planning for and working into the budget. The committee is well aware of this, and we have, we don't know the exact number, and we won't know it until 12 o'clock today, but we believe we probably have a pretty good estimate of where that might be. And the budget that we present tomorrow will be balanced, it'll be in good shape, and most importantly, as I know that is so important to all of us, is that I believe it will continue to reflect the values that we all hold dear, helping folks all across the state, working for the environment, all the issues, transportation, their component parts. It is not what it has been, and it couldn't possibly be, because as we know, we don't have those same resources that we had from the federal government over the last couple years. But I'm very proud of what we've been able to accomplish, and look forward to sharing that with you tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the members of the committee that have been working really hard and way ahead of us, Excellent. Chair of Judicial Proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Judicial Proceedings Committee will meet today at 1 p.m. for bill hearings. We have 11 bills and 60 witnesses.
Wonderful. Excellent. Yes, Senator from the 24th District, 6th District.
Thank you. A point of personal privilege. Number one, good morning. I did pray for everyone today. I prayed for this section today, and I prayed for everyone about 2 or 3 minutes, except for permission to use the senator's name.
Senator may proceed.
Senator Smith, I pray for 10 minutes every day, and nothing happens. I'm feeling badly about that. I want to share with you that my co-chairs, permission to use senator's name, Senator Feldman, and I have been in discussion for about a year, and we decided next Wednesday that we're going to exchange whatever tie we wear. We're going to exchange it, just take it off and exchange it on the floor. With your permission, because it's a very profound meaning to that. We're tied together as friends for life. So next Wednesday, if you'd like to participate, whatever tie you wear at a said time, we're going to exchange them because we are family for life. Now, should the women want to participate, they should bring a scarf and exchange their scarves. And 50 years from now, when I look at that, I'm gonna say, look who, this is the tie that he gave me. And so with your permission, next Wednesday for about 2 minutes, just a sign of friendship, and we'll establish it. And then we'll take a vote. Well, I'll put in a bill, and we'll take a vote to see if we can do it every year. I thank you for listening to me. Come on, participate. Let's make it a little fun. Thank you, Mr. President.
Looks like you gotta go shopping this weekend, it sounds like. Sounds like some shopping is ahead. All right, anything else for the good of the order? We do actually have a birthday today, It is from our one and only Trooper Steve Stewart. He is extremely excited to celebrate his 29th birthday, Yes, excellent. All right, anything else for the good of the order? Yes, Chair recognizes Senator from Montgomery County.
Yes, well, first of all, Mr. President, I'll be looking to get a very inexpensive tie over the weekend. And I know this will sadden my Montgomery County Senate colleagues, but we will not be having voting following session. And yeah, I know. Some of you will cry yourselves to sleep tonight. We'll make up for it next week. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Senator. All right, anything else? If not, let's do a quorum call.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 46 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session, recognizing the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned until Friday, March 8th at 11 a.m.
Without objection, so ordered. Have a wonderful day, everyone. See you tomorrow.